Hello. So this week we watched Lean on Me for our Images of Leadership and Media class. And my name is Vanessa Williams. So let's begin. Starting with the first slide, taking initiative. That's really a big, that's basically what starts leadership, Somebody has to take initiative and get something off the ground and take responsibility. So it was really cool to see how Clark was placed into a position where he had to completely alter the uncontrollable East Side High School. Basically, these kids are out of control, beating each other up, using violence and drugs. And he's asked to go in there and try and help. And being a strong leader, he could have done one of two things. He could have either run from the proposition or take it head on, and he chooses to take it head on. He completely takes the initiative to completely alter and transform that school into something that nobody ever really thought was possible. And without that feeling of needing to initiate change, he would have never been able to really change the actual school. You need somebody who has that vision and will take that step to do something. So I took the quote, "Hearing the words no and I'm sorry this won't work doesn't mean much to an emotionally intelligent leader." And that's very true, because a lot of people are telling him, look, you can't change these kids, good luck with all of this and that and everything else, but it's up to him to want to change, and he does. Moving on to the second slide, empathetic leaders. So I took the quote, "Empathy allows a leader to understand the lives of those people he or she is leading." And this is definitely something, a big theme that I saw throughout the movie, because as they're going through whatever, all the kids, every single kid has something that's bothering them, which causes them to act out in violent ways. And whether it's something at home, whether it's that they're wrapped up in drugs, whatever the case may be, something's going on at home. And it's up to him to not only go in and set discipline and set different guidelines and rules, but it's also his responsibility as a leader to actually get to know everyone. If he doesn't take the time to empathize and sympathize with everybody and earn respect from his followers, none of the kids are going to see him and listen to him and actually give him credit in the time of day. So as you could see throughout the movie, he definitely helps to build relationships amongst some of the students and teachers. Now, granted, in the beginning of the movie, he's very harsh and he chooses to stray away from that. He thinks that just discipline and being rude is going to put people into line. But as the movie progresses and people start to talk to him and keep knocking sense into him, he starts to really see that empathy is the key to gaining respect as a leader. And there's a picture up top there of him talking to one of his students, and she just got pregnant. And what's cool is you see the transformation in him as a leader through this movie in that scene. He really takes the time to actually talk to her and try and figure out a plan and help her. And in the end, she actually says that he's kind of like a father figure to her. And I think that's really cool, because that shows empathy of all, I mean, how much better and how much closer can somebody get than to be a father figure of somebody else? So it's really cool that he learns to become empathetic, and he realizes that that's what's going to save the school and really impact people's lives. Moving on to the next slide, empowering others. So Clark's leadership style completely changes, as I said before, throughout the movie, as he starts to make an effort towards empowering others. And it's very cool to see that when he's empowering others, he's also empowering himself. And for example, Sam's, the boy in the picture. Sam's is a little bit of a bad egg, we'll say. And he's always getting into trouble, always picking a little fight, doing this, doing that. But what's funny is that he, in this scene, in the picture, he actually comes up to Clark and says that he needs to remain in school. He can't be kicked out. He can't go home to his mom and tell him that he's kicked out. And instead of Clark just letting him go back to school, giving him an easy road, and instead of him completely kicking him out, shunning him, just being done with him, he chooses a third route, which is to let him back under the condition that Sam's has got to behave, has got to do his work. And the fact that Clark is going to follow up on Sam's and really make sure he does his job and he stays out of trouble and really does something with his life shows the whole theme of empowering. You know, you don't empower somebody by just handing them something, and you don't empower somebody by just ignoring them and throwing them away. You empower them by giving them a task and a goal to reach, and he does that. And he doesn't make it easy on Sam's, but that's why Sam's learns to really respect others and to respect school and actually do good things with his life. So I thought that was really, really neat to see. And I took the quote, "Leadership must be based on goodwill." It means obvious and wholehearted commitment to helping followers. And like I said before, it's really cool to see that Clark not only tells Sam's that he expects a lot out of him, but he actually follows up with everything. I mean, he's in and out throughout the school, throughout those days, and if Sam's is doing something wrong, doing something he shouldn't be, Clark's there to step in. So I think that helps to also empower him as well. Moving on to the next slide, loving your leader comes first. This is definitely the law of buy-in because it basically emphasizes that followers must buy their leader before they have an interest in taking part of the leader's vision. So what this means is that, let's say you meet somebody and they are a nasty person, you know, you just don't want anything to do with them. You're not going to believe the vision that they have. I mean, they may have a great, amazing idea that could get them far in life or get people far in life, but if they go about it with the wrong attitude and they don't develop relationships with other people, their vision doesn't mean anything. So I thought it was really cool to see how in this movie, in the beginning, Clark's vision is very good. You know, he wants to help change the school and all of that. So he's got the right vision, but his attitude really pushes followers away. You have teachers quitting. You have like fights breaking out, this and that, and nobody's paying attention to him. And then all of a sudden, as the movie progresses, and you see him actually change his attitude and turn it into a positive leader, when he starts to praise these people and help to empower them, then these people start to believe in the vision. And you can see at the very end when everyone's chanting because he's been thrown in jail, it's awesome how they are chanting not only for him, but because of his vision. And when he gets the letter that says that they passed the standardized testing scores, that ultimately shows the success of everything he's been working towards for that vision, and he's got a whole group of followers pushing right behind him. That's all the kids. So I thought that was really cool. And I took the quote, "Your success is measured by your ability to actually take the people where they need to go." And he really does take everyone in that school where they need to go. Moving on to the next slide, motivation to win. Again, this goes back to the same thing as having that vision, you know. You need to have the motivation to win and the motivation to actually grab and achieve that vision. So I took the quote, "Crisis seems to bring out the best and the worst in leaders because at such times the pressure is intense and the stakes are high." And in this case, he really is thrown into a messy situation where the stakes are very high, but he definitely handles it very well. And in the end, anyway, he transforms from an all-over-the-place, angry leader into a really professional and caring leader. And ultimately, he does win out, you know. He is able to get that victory that the testing scores to reach the certain level. So it's really cool to see that. And then moving on to the final slide, Picture, visualize, and analyze. So there are 4 steps in the book that basically explained how you have to visualize and use your law of picture to really create the outcome that you want. So number 1 is followers are always watching what you do. You need to make sure that you're always checking yourself when you're around your followers. You're always setting a good example, being a quality, nice, caring, respectful person. You need to be on the go, and you need to have eyes in the back of your head constantly watching out for whatever's next, because people will watch and they will follow what you do. Number 2, it's easier to teach what's right than to do what's right. So you can preach all you want to people, but as the phrase actions speak louder than words goes, it's true. You need to actually follow through with what you say and what you lead. You need to live what you're leading. That's really important. Number 3, we should work on changing ourselves before trying to improve others. You can't be empathetic or sympathetic to somebody else if you can't help yourself. So you really need to improve on yourself as a leader and gain that respect from everybody, and respect for yourself before you can give respect to others. And 4, the most valuable gift a leader can give is being a good example. Again, that goes back to number 1, 2, and 3. Be a good person, do the right thing, and you'll be the best leader you can be. Thank you for listening to my video, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.